Hello, this is Music Tech Help Guy, and welcome to episode 4 of my Pro Tools 11 tutorial series. In this episode, I'm going to show you guys how to properly import audio, and also how to change the tempo of your project to match the tempo of an imported loop. So first, let me just show you how to import audio the proper way. Now, one way you can import audio is just to go find the audio file wherever it is on your desktop or wherever, and you can drag and drop it into the project. Now, you can do that, but the problem with this is it doesn't actually make a copy of your imported audio in your Pro Tools session folder in the audio files folder. And that can be a problem because if I go back and maybe move this folder somewhere, or maybe I move my session elsewhere onto a different computer, I'm going to open up the session and this audio isn't going to be there anymore. It only copies like the waveform into the session. It doesn't actually make a copy of the entire audio file. So the proper way to do this, to make sure that we're actually importing and making a copy of the audio file into our session, is to go to File, Import Audio, or you can use the key command Shift Command I, which brings up this window. You go through your Finder and you find the actual folder that the loop or audio or whatever it is located in. Mine is Slow and Steady Hip Hop Beat. I'm going to click on it. And you can actually hold Shift and you can import multiples if you want. I'm just going to import one for now. And there's a bunch of options down here. You have add all, convert all. What we're going to use is convert, because convert is actually going to convert this audio file into the correct format for my session, in addition to making a copy in the session. Now here's part of the problem. This loop that I'm importing has a bit depth of 24-bit and a sample rate of 44,100 rather. My session actually has a sample rate of 48,000. So I want to make sure that I convert this file to the proper format. So it's going from 44.1 to 48. Otherwise, we're going to have some weird playback issues. Likewise, if I just choose add, it's not going to convert it, and it's not actually going to add it to the audio file folder. By the way, if you are using a loop or a file that's the same sample rate as your session, convert will actually say copy instead of convert, and that's the one you always want to click. So always click convert or copy, or convert or copy all. So I'm going to click convert. Yes, we want to apply sample rate conversion. We'll hit done. It's going to ask us where we want to save our file to, and yes, we want to save it to our sessions audio files folder. So we hit open. It's converted it. Where do we want to put it? I'm going to put it on a new track. I'm going to go ahead and delete that other track. And here is our drum loop that's now been imported. So it's actually now a part of the session. It's actually converted this audio file into the correct format and made a copy of it in our audio files folder. So I don't have to worry about saving that other folder where the original location of the loop was. I know it seems like it's a complicated process, but you're going to save yourself a lot of headache in the long run by doing it this way. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I turn grid mode on, because I want to work with musical timing. I'm going to make sure to turn my grid on, and I'm going to keep my grid on an eighth note. Sure, that works. I'm going to zoom out just a bit, and what you'll notice is I'm going to go ahead and grab my selector tool, and what you'll notice is we have measure 1, beat 1, measure 2, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. So this is one measure of music, and then here's my second measure of music. So the loop is actually right now a measure and a half long. It's at the wrong tempo. Now, I already know, just because Audio Blocks labeled this loop at 80 BPM. So if I really want to, I could go over here, click on this little icon, go down to tempo, and I could just double click on the little red flag looking thing here, and I could just type in 80. And everything would match up right to the grid. So now, instead, and just to make this easier to look at, I'm going to change this from eighth notes to 1 bar. So now we basically have a 1 bar loop here. This is exactly 4 beats long. Let me go back and change this to quarter notes. So it matches up. Now, what if what if the loop doesn't have a label like that? What if it doesn't say that this is 80 BPM or 120 BPM or 110 BPM? There is a pretty quick way. I'm going to go ahead and change the tempo back to 120. There's a pretty quick way to tap in an approximate tempo and then figure out, sort of fine tune the tempo from there. The way to do that is just to listen to the loops. I'm just going to drag over the loop. I'm going to go to Window, Transport, or you can press Command 1 or Control 1 on your number pad. Just pulls the transport up. I'm going to right-click on the playback button. I'm going to choose Loop Record. And what that's going to do is it's going to just play this loop continuously. So there we go. You can also pull that up here. If you right-click and you say Show Transport, you can pull that up here as well. So you don't have to have a separate floating window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my tempo change again by clicking on the little red icon there. And it's really cool. All you have to do is click in the BPM area here and just tap the T on your keyboard. So you can hear me tapping it. I'm tapping really fast, but I want maybe something slower. And every time you tap, it records what the tempo is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play on my loop out there, and I'm going to just sort of feel where the beat is and tap on the T key, and Pro Tools will sort of estimate what the tempo is. So by the way, I guess you have to close out the, let's try it again. Yeah, you have to close out the tempo change window, press play, then open it back up. Yeah, so I was actually able to pretty much get it right on point. I was just hitting T at the tempo of the beat, roughly the tempo of the beat now that I'm not hearing it, and it basically got me somewhere around 79, 80, and so you can sort of guesstimate as to to figure out what the correct tempo is from there. So now I'm going to go with 80, and just to double check this, I'm going to go to Track, Create Click Track. And let's see if our click track matches up with the tempo of the loop. Kind of hard to hear. Let me pull the volume down a bit. Let me just loop that. So we're right on point. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next few videos, we're going to start talking about the edit tools, and we're going to use this loop as well as a few other loops to start building a basic song. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks again for watching.